Hey, what is up, guys? SOlanum-Heart Tristan here. I'm gonna be talking about the crazy ex-homeless guy. No, the crazy homeless guy that I met. And in the description below, you'll find two funny stories. One about the crazy ex-girlfriend whom was with me at this point, and then the other one was about the stupid hotel Bimbo. Another funny story by me. So these aren't like in a series or anything. These are just kind of funny stories. And so I'll get right into it. So I was with my girlfriend, and we were heading out of Panda Express, walking to a local store. So I was holding her hand, and we had just finished Panda Express because I took her on a date. I paid for it and everything because she loved Chinese food. This was the crazy ex-girlfriend, as I said earlier. So watch that story. It's hilarious. And yeah. Old videos, man. Old videos. They're fantastic if you guys ever get bored. So, anyway, we were walking, and I was holding her hand. You know, we were walking and talking. And we start cutting across the parking lot to go to this other store. And this homeless guy kind of stops us, and he's like, hey, what's up? Do you guys want to buy any weed or alcohol? And we're like, no, and no, I'm sorry. We don't do that. And he's like, oh, damn, why not? You know, come on. I can give you these prices or whatever. He's like, any kids at school selling that stuff? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I bet you I can sell it for cheaper. I'm like, dude, I don't want any, alright? She didn't either. So, he kept talking to us, and then he just started going off about certain things, like, I don't know, about his life, and, like, why he's homeless, and all this really weird stuff. So, he told me that his dad, or, like, he lost all his land, is, like, 5,000 acres. I don't know if it's that much land. I think that's what he told me. 50 acres or something. Yeah, 50 acres. He lost all his land or something. He got foreclosed. I don't really remember the full story of what he was talking, but he just kept going on and on. And at this point, he's standing about a foot away from us. He has his bike, and I have a tight grip on my girlfriend's hand at this point because he's kind of like sketchy, I guess. I don't know, you know, he's a rugged looking dude, you know, he could rob us or whatever. Like, I wasn't sure if he's gonna pull out a knife or try to rape her. I don't really know. And so there wasn't many people around, but we were still in the parking lot. So I'm doing that, and she's getting kind of nervous. She's gripping my hand tighter and tighter, and vice versa. I'm doing the same thing. And so he keeps telling us about like how he lost his land and stuff. And then the kind of freaky part happened. So he's like, the thing that kind of got me even more scared about this guy. So he's talking about losing his land. He's talking about selling drugs, and then he has all these drugs and stuff like that. And that he's done these certain drugs or whatever. And then he starts talking about like, he's like, you know, I've killed a man. And that is something you do not want to hear from someone you just met. That is so scary. And that, like, yeah, like we both kind of freaked out at that point. And he just kept talking and talking. And like I barely put my word in. And one time he ended up even spitting on my face, like because he was, you know, he's talking, like not purposefully, but he was like talking and so loudly and stuff that he spit in my face, and I just kind of wiped it off, and I was like really disgusted. And so he keeps talking about like when he murdered someone, and he's like, you know, I'm like, well, who did you murder and why did you do it? And he's like, oh, I already served my time for it and everything. He said he did 14 years in prison for murdering a guy, and I'm like, 14 years? That's what? You should be in the rest of your life. And so he's talking about it, and he's like, okay, so I noticed that one day my wife was missing, and he's like, okay, and so he's like trying to look for her, and he ends up finding her at one of his friends' houses, I think. And his wife, sorry, ended up being in the guy's closet, and I guess he had either kidnapped her or yeah, I think he kidnapped her or something. And he raped her. I don't remember exactly, but I knew that she was in the closet of his house, and then he came in there with a gun and he shot the guy who kidnapped his wife. And I don't think he shot his wife, but I think the reason for it is that it wasn't premeditated murder. It was you know, acting like on the spot or whatever, so you get like a lessened sentence. But I mean, it's kind of bad to hear that from someone like, I've killed a guy. It's like, okay, you could kill again. I mean, if you could do it that easily. And I was like, you know, how did you feel when you shot him? He's like, I didn't feel a damn thing. You know, I just pulled the trigger, aimed it at the guy's head, and like, he wasn't too in depth with it or anything, but I think he called the cops after or something. I don't exactly remember, but he's talking about getting arrested. And hearing about all this stuff from a guy you just met, an intimidating guy a foot away from you, and I kind of wanted to distance myself from him, but I didn't want to, like, you know, like make him too aware that I was kind of freaked out. And so we keep talking to him. I'm holding her hand tighter and tighter, and he just keeps going on about his life and stuff, and the fact that, you know, he's killed that guy, and it kept being referenced like over and over again. And I didn't ask him like, hey, are you a serial killer or something? Not a serial killer, but are you a killer? And he's like, yeah, I served my time. And God, it was a very scary moment. So we end up, like, he keeps talking and talking. I'm like, hey man, we gotta go, and he kind of ignores me the first couple times I say it. But then I'm like, hey man, we really gotta get going. I'm sorry. Hope you have a, you know, good life or whatever. And so we end up leaving, and I never saw that man again. Now, really, guys, did enjoy the story, and please check out those other 2 stories in the description below. Let me know what you think of this one, because that guy is crazy. I'm glad he did get arrested for that, but only 14 years is kind of iffy for me, and I'm glad I'm still alive. See you guys later. Please click that like button if you did enjoy, by the way.